Texas delivered a stunning blow to the reigning national champions, Michigan, with a commanding 31-12 victory at Michigan Stadium, marking the end of the Wolverines' dominance. The game, held on Saturday, September 7, 2024, saw number 3 Texas enter as 7.5-point favorites against number 10 Michigan, but few expected such a lopsided affair. From the outset, the Wolverines struggled to find their rhythm, and by halftime, the Longhorns had built an insurmountable 24-3 lead, largely thanks to a brilliant performance by Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. Ewers showcased his talent early, throwing 2 first-half touchdown passes and adding a third in the second half, capping off an impressive game. He led the Longhorns' high-powered offense with precision, leaving Michigan's defense scrambling for answers. The Wolverines, meanwhile, looked out of sorts on both sides of the ball. They failed to score a touchdown until the final 2 minutes of the game, long after the contest had been decided. It was a stark contrast to the Michigan team that claimed the national title last season. The Wolverines came into the 2024 season with high expectations but were no longer the powerhouse they once were. The team had lost several key players to the NFL, and head coach Jim Harbaugh, along with defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, had both departed for the Los Angeles Chargers. Harbaugh's absence, in particular, loomed large as Michigan struggled to adjust under new head coach Sherrone Moore. Despite these challenges, fans had hoped for a more competitive showing, especially in such a high-profile matchup. The first half was a nightmare for Michigan, as Texas completely dominated on both sides of the ball. Ewers threw 2 early touchdowns, and the Longhorns' defense stifled Michigan's offense, allowing only a field goal before halftime. Texas's dominance was summed up when they headed into the locker room with a commanding 24-3 lead, leaving Michigan fans in stunned silence. Some fans, disheartened by the performance, even began leaving the stadium at halftime. Adding to the gravity of the situation, NFL legend Tom Brady joined Fox's halftime broadcast remotely from Cleveland, where he was preparing for his role in the network's coverage of the Browns-Cowboys game the next day. Brady, a Michigan alum, didn't hold back in his assessment of the first half, saying, "It's been tough to watch this first half. I was hoping I'd come on here and be talking about the opposite score there." Michigan's fortunes didn't improve in the second half. Texas continued to impose its will on both offense and defense, with Ewers tossing his 3rd touchdown pass and the Longhorns' defense forcing 2 interceptions and a fumble. Michigan's offense couldn't muster any meaningful response, and their defense, porous throughout the game, had no answers for Texas's relentless attack. As the final whistle blew, Texas had not only secured a statement win but effectively ended Michigan's brief reign at the top of college football. The loss was a bitter pill for Michigan fans, who had hoped their team could remain a contender despite the offseason changes. The Wolverines' inability to compete with a team of Texas's caliber highlighted the growing pains the program faces under new leadership. Fans and pundits alike were quick to react to Texas's domination, with social media lighting up with jokes and jabs directed at Michigan. Even NFL stars like Garrett Wilson and former Texas running back Bijan Robinson joined in, poking fun at the Wolverines' misfortune. Texas's dominance was perfectly encapsulated by Fox announcer Gus Johnson, who summed up the Longhorns' performance on one of their touchdowns by saying, "Total domination." The defeat marked a sobering moment for Michigan, whose national championship season now felt like a distant memory. For Texas, the victory reaffirmed their status as a national powerhouse and solidified their place as a top contender for the college football playoff. As for Michigan, the road ahead looks uncertain, with much work to be done if they hope to return to the pinnacle of college football.